Hey, everybody, and welcome to our coach call. Today is August 3rd, 2015, and we are joined by people from all different teams coming together to show up and share what we have and ask questions and get better. Tonight is a little different from our normal calls, where the teacher in me has a really great lesson plan and guides us through something. Today's a little bit more open and free. So it's I have a couple things that I wanted to cover, but this is also just kind of a jam session that I figured we could have together, just to check in, see how things are going, and bounce ideas off of each other. But just to kind of reference the Monday Mojo call that we just had, and for those of you who are watching this afterwards, Monday Mojo is like a national wake-up call, but for customers, where we invite people who have incredible transformation stories to share their stories and tips and the inspirations, so that we can look to them and know that if they can do it, so can we. And Pete is rocking it out by booking the finalists for the Beachbody Challenge. And so far we've had Timothy Maynard, and tonight we had Caleb. I don't know how to say his last name. Do you know?
No.
Huge. I don't know.
Just Caleb. There we go.
Caleb B.
Caleb B.
It's like freaking amazing, and it just reminds me that we've all heard the sayings, "Facts tell, stories sell." Just the opportunity for us to be exposed to these incredible stories and to be able to talk about them and relate to them is just it's so unparalleled. We all have our own stories, which are great, and that connects with a lot of people, and we should definitely use them. But there's going to be a lot of people who don't necessarily relate to me or to you, and so referencing how Caleb was recovering from shoulder cancer, and as a doctor working 30-hour shifts, and still found time to do a 30-minute workout, and is now doing one-handed pull-ups. Mind-baffling. So I hope everybody is using, just really digging into these stories and just being story collectors, because that's one of the most powerful things that we can have as coaches. So that's just kind of one thought. A couple other things that I wouldn't mind talking about. I just started a new tracking system that Brooke Dorset posted with Streak. Is there anybody using Streak?
I love it.
It's everything.
Everything is life.
Streak is life. And it's pretty too, right?
I went back because I was lazy before. I emailed all my leads from March to now. And I make a template for each one based on what they ordered, and boom, 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 boom.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing.
Guys, if you don't know what Streak is, it's a plugin that you can use for Gmail that is a CRM, a customer relationship management system. And basically you can create these pipelines, and you can organize where people are in the conversation process that you're having with them, so that you never lose track of a conversation, and you know exactly when you had the conversation, and you can even set it up so it says how many days they've been in a certain stage, so that you're like, uh-oh, this person I haven't talked to in 2 days, I need to make sure that we connect. And you just move them along through the pipeline. And when I first started doing it, I was like, this is kind of a fun game. It was fun. I wasn't dreading my list like I had before. I would look at my list and be like, okay, I'm just going to start at the end and go backward this time, or the beginning and go forward. But with this, it was just so clear and beautiful and laid out, and caught up with people that had fallen through the cracks. So I was really thankful for that. And in like a day, got 4 Success Club points. Yeah, it's legit. So if you've not looked into Streak, definitely look into that. And I think Brooke posted her tutorial. I know in the Diamond group.
It's on YouTube.
It's just on her YouTube as well. Yeah, so you can search it. Cassie, how have your results been since you started using Streak?
Well, I literally just got down with it yesterday. I spent like 3 hours I watched her video 3 times because I'm not a quick learner, and I had to keep pausing it and then go to mine and like set stuff up.
Yep.
But now that everything is set up, I've already had 2 replies, which isn't huge for the amount that I sent out, but not everyone checks their email every day. But I just feel better. I feel more organized. I have a pipeline for current challengers, for my coaches, for leads, for just Shakeology people, for every challenge that I have, and it's awesome.
Mm-hmm. I love that we can do pipelines for, just like you said, for coaches, like where are they in their own training process, and for people in our challenge groups, what do they know about Shakeology? Like that's something that I really need to work on, just really helping people to understand what Shakeology is, and I mean that's going to be huge as well.
That's my issue, because I'm really bad at checking once people get a challenge pack if they continue with Shakeology. Because I'm just getting this check and I'm like, oh, this is great, but it could be so much bigger if everyone was on it.
Yeah.
So that's my tackle. I have to figure out, I don't know if you have a suggestion, the best way to go about, do you check it once a week? Do you go through all your customers? Like, what do you do?
Well, I'm in the same boat as you. I have people drop off of it. In fact, there's a conversation in the challenge group. Somebody was like, I'm gonna cancel my Shakeology, and then like 3 other people jumped on and was like, ugh, yeah, I don't want to do it either. And
that's like a nightmare to see that.
There was this avalanche that was happening, and oh my gosh. So, I think the answer that I am going to implement is really being proactive in helping people to understand what Shakeology is, and of course sharing my story and sharing other stories, sharing that it's different from protein powder.
Did you see the PDF that I posted earlier?
No. What was
I created a PDF talking about Shakeology to send to people. I posted it in the Diamond group and the Empire group, so check that out.
Okay, I'll check that out.
Because my coaches are having a hard time sharing it as well and talking about it.
Yep. That's awesome. I'll check that out. Thank you. I know Brooke said that she sends out like follow-up emails or messages to people like once a week, where she just kind of reveals an extra thing about Shakeology, just to help people be educated.
What doesn't she do?
I don't understand.
She's so she thinks of everything that just anything that I would never think of. I mean, it's just ridiculous.
Like 4 months ago too. And then
she's going to be a top coach.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah. Well, and I'm just so thankful that she's been very open and generous with what she's doing, and we are all better for it. So
yes,
that's the cool thing about the team. Very cool thing.
So that's what I need to pick her brain about tomorrow when we do a call is, okay, you send an email every week giving a new tidbit, but how are you figuring out, how are you tracking all these Shakeology orders? Because if I have a lot, she's got to have 1 million.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it all shows up in the back office, but keeping track of that is just, I don't know. Yeah. However, the core of our business is really helping people to stay on Shakeology. You see the people that are doing really well as coaches, and you see the people who are doing really well as customers, of course, they are drinking Shakeology. It's not people who sell 1 million 21-day fix basic packets.
Mm-hmm.
So it might be hard, but I feel like we have to figure that out.
Yes.
I'm curious to know, just from Peter and James, like what things are on your mind? How are things going for you?
I had to unmute myself. I'm still kind of at the beginning and learning things here. I don't know. I have a pretty good lead. I think I'm going to get my second coach here pretty soon, so that might be. Got my fingers crossed.
Awesome.
But other than that, I don't know. Adam's staying on top of helping me learn some stuff. I'm almost through all of my training with him, so
Good.
We'll see.
Good. Do you? How long have you been a coach?
I think I'm going on my third week now.
Awesome.
So I'm still pretty new.
That's fantastic. Are you feeling like you're absorbing the information well, or ever feeling overwhelmed?
I felt a little overwhelmed at first, but I think Adam kind of told me to take a little step back, and I was a little gung ho. I think I was trying to do too much. So he's got me backed off a little bit, and it seems like I'm retaining more now.
Good. Well, just the fact that you are here, I think, really shows a lot of character and a lot of drive for you. So you're going to be successful. I know.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So that's awesome.
And I'm taking notes.
Beautiful. Well, I hope we say something important.
You better. I got my notes up.
Is everybody on a team cup?
I am not.
Uh-oh. Did you know about Team Cup?
Adam started to tell me a little bit about it, and then he had all this stuff going on with his son, and we just never really were able to touch base about it. I guess I know tiny little bit.
Well, the cool thing about it is it happens twice a year, so you'll get another chance, I think, in February is when it comes back.
Okay.
And, it's just a way for coaches to organize as small teams of 5 and do the same things that we would be normally doing, but just with each other's support in an intentional way. And then Beachbody adds on top extra gifts and prizes for when you hit certain tiers. So, yeah, watch out for that when that comes out next time, and you'll probably be diamond by then. So
we can only hope.
You'll have to find some other non-diamond because there can only be one diamond on a team, one lifetime diamond. So that's awesome. And Pete, how are things going for you?
I am working on trying to get some more leads here and make sure I stay Emerald forever. Well, not forever, but not go below Emerald, put it that way,
Strengthen that Emerald.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm working on that and talked to like a couple people while I was on vacation about some stuff. So one guy he's like, I've been following you and you're doing really well, but I need to do something, but I need to find a time. I'm like, hey, I know you're busy with what's going on with your son right now, but anytime, let me know. We can talk over the phone, through Facebook, So I will probably, and then I had a couple people who were like, oh yeah, I know what you're doing. You're trying to get me to do a fitness program. And so I see your tactics, I was like, well, are you doing something? And he's like, oh yeah, you're working with Michael, aren't you? So it's like, yeah, I work with Michael. And then they were like, so would Michael like what you're eating this weekend? I'm like, hey, I'm only having one bacon cheeseburger. The rest of the time I was good, come on. So.
Yes, I know you packed a lot of good food.
I did. I ate some of it So, because they changed the schedule up. Like, I was planning on having lunches by myself, and they're like, oh, let's eat here. Okay, well, what's the healthiest thing at Friendly's? Yeah, okay. Nope, I'm not going to pay that much for it. So, but I had my Shakeology with me, so that was good.
Good. Well, keep working those relationships.
Yeah, so right now I'm just securing next week's conference video. So yeah, getting your talking points for your poster.
I have to give a shout out to Cassie for one thing that I like that you've been doing this week is you've been doing some more long form videos and putting that on Facebook and really sharing very personally. And I just have to say your posts this week have just been like grand slams. I just love what you're doing.
Oh, thanks. I unlike most people who have had like amazing fitness transformations, I gained weight. So I have to touch on things that help people change on the inside that just doesn't focus on fitness. Obviously, I'm trying to get my body back, but having that confidence inside and going for your dreams is, to me, it's more important in my current life. And when other people have that confidence, they want to transform physically too. So.
Yeah. I think it's brilliant. I mean, like when you really think about each one of us has a brand of, you know, who we are and the kind of person that we want to attract. And, you know, when you go through these Coach Basics groups, we talk a lot about kind of figuring that out and what to share, these breadcrumbing our stories. What I love about what you're doing, Cassie, is that, you know, even though you acknowledge, you know, kind of where you are with your fitness, you're not like spending any time apologizing for that. You're saying like, well, no, my strengths are right here, and this is what I'm going to show, and you're just running with it. And it's real, and because it's authentic, I think it's really powerful.
Oh, thank you. Warm fuzzies.
Well, and I do have to say that you inspired me to do some more long form video this week as well. If anybody caught it, I like vomited my life story all over with like a 9-minute video. Just did anybody see it here?
I didn't. I'll go look. What day did you post it?
It was what is I think it was like Thursday.
Okay.
Yeah. I get pretty real, and I open up a lot about, you know, when I was a kid and how I was very small and, you know, picked last in the kickball teams and bullied some, and you know, how I kind of turned that around to propel me forward. Just really as a whole, the whole point is just to acknowledge and encourage people out there in our social circles that have experienced that as well, and to help people know that they can, you know, they can accomplish those dreams even if they feel like they've been, kind of like starting in a worse position than they feel other people have. That it's totally possible. And in the course of my story, you know, of course, my fitness transformation is a huge part of it, and connecting with Beachbody and becoming a coach, and that was really woven in to the point where at the end, you know, I just talk about how it's just really kind of mind-blowing to think that this kid who was picked last on the kickball teams and who was like pushed to the ground and captured the flag is now getting messages like almost every day or every other day from people saying that he was inspiring them to push toward their best and to, you know, they feel so much better about themselves. And it's really humbling to know
That's
that.
so cool.
And I just want to encourage everybody who's here and who's watching this video afterwards, don't be afraid to share that part of yourself that you feel like you might be a little uncomfortable with, because chances are that's the thing that's going to touch the hearts of the people around you in the most powerful way. Since doing that video, I've received a lot of of affirmation and a lot of private messages, and people just really kind of saying like, it's good to know that you're a person, that you're, that we have a similar background, and it just really helps to relate. So so I thank you, Cassie, for like, your videos actually kind of gave me the courage and the idea to do that. So I appreciate that.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm glad. I don't know if anyone knows of the band Styx. It's from the 80s.
Oh, yeah.
But one of my favorite songs is The Grand Illusion. And I just talked about it on my team call before. There's a lyric, it says, we all think our neighbors have it made, but deep down we're all the same. And chances are everybody's going through something or has gone through something hard, but they don't share it. So no matter what you post, you're going to connect with someone without failure. And it's a beautiful thing when people see that other people are struggling with what they are and they have someone to talk to about it. I've had a lot of people reach out to me like, oh my gosh, I've been struggling with that, but I haven't told anyone. You're the first. It's like, whoa, I haven't talked to you since 9th grade, but hello.
Yeah, that's awesome. And it just really goes to show that, I don't have a lot of experience with other similar companies, but I just really appreciate the culture that Beachbody has created, and the coaches, and just the emphasis on helping people with our entire lives, not just selling them a product and saying, hey, good luck.
Yeah.
Or when your coach says, post a video if you're doing your workout. And I'm like, no. And then the peer pressure happens. And
you just gotta make them fun. Like I add like crazy music and like different colors.
I did size. I posted the size video last Monday night, really, really, really late after I did some video editing on it. And well, I didn't change like what I did. I couldn't, cut out all the bad moves. That would have been like nothing left. So, and I showed it in such a way that nobody knew I was making mistakes unless they did the workout. So,
how's the
so Michael was.
Since then?
Yeah, it's had 43 likes, 13 comments, and it's been viewed 540 times. So.
That's huge.
Yeah. So, but we'll see how that goes. Yeah. Cassie's going to watch it right now.
I will.
Let me see what you did. So.
I love it. Cool. Anything else that you guys had questions about or wanted to talk about?
Yeah, how do you get in with becoming one of the Diamond Leaguers for the groups?
Oh gosh,
is it just like networking, getting close to them, and they invited you, or?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
I know each time they like the group this time is expanded from the last time, so. I think showing up on, Josh has these like leadership calls on usually on Wednesdays, and like showing up to those. But yeah, just kind of networking professionally.
So how are you guys like avoiding the whole too many Chiefs, not enough Indians? Because there's like a lot of you. Do you just each rotate doing a post?
Yeah.
Okay.
We've got a Google Doc in the back where we have the kind of the curriculum of what we're doing, and then we divvy it up of who's taking which days.
Okay.
Yeah, I had a couple people ask me about the Superstar Boot Camp, and they're like, I don't know if I'll be able to do it. And I was like, well, hey, if you need to just commit to doing it. I was like, from what I hear, it's being expanded, so it's not going to be so packed. Like, I think it was packed into a 3.5 week period. So I was like, if you, it was probably good if they would take more time on each day to do stuff. So you'd be able to focus more and do more on it. But I would say, hey, you don't know if you don't apply to get in. So,
yeah, it's just like our fitness. You don't know unless you just try it.
So,
yeah, for this one, we're expanding some topics, like adding some topics, doing a lot more leadership.
mm-hmm.
And, there's a pot of gold for this one, which we did last time.
Yeah.
But for this time, the requirements are a little different. It's $20 for the pot last time.
Right.
And you have to, I think you have to add 6 coaches to your team. I think it's 6 coaches and 2 emeralds, or basically like you go diamond.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, the number of coaches. And the pot is now over $2,400.
Wow.
And Barbie's is $5,000.
Yeah, well, Barbie's is gigantic.
Yeah, I would have rather had my coaches go in Josh's because I want them to know they're my upline, but he requires emerald.
Yeah.
Which isn't bad.
No, it isn't. I totally get why he does it. It's too much.
Yeah. You have to.
So.
But it's definitely something to shoot for. James, as you're kind of figuring out the whole thing and how that's working, as soon as you become emerald, go ahead and start applying for these superstar boot camps. Like you'll be ready to start applying. And they've been some of the most influential and helpful things I know for me in my business. And Pete just went through it, and Cassie's done it as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They're amazing. So, like, it was 3.5 weeks of barely any sleep and learning a whole lot about myself and learning technology and fighting with my piece of crap computer at the time and trying to get projects done that I was like, okay, I'm buying a new computer. I don't care anymore. I needed to do this. So a whole lot easier now with a new computer that actually does stuff. So.
Michael, I've been getting more aggressive with my invites.
Yeah.
You know how we talked about on a couple weeks ago how I spend all this time and I'm like wearing myself out? Now I'm just kind of like, all right, I've built rapport with you a few times. I'm just going to invite you. Like, I'm done talking about your dog and your child for like 10 weeks. So it's worked. I have 10 people in my coach sneak peek today.
Oh, great.
So my advice to you guys is if you're feeling it and you've built rapport with them, just don't be afraid. Just do it.
Can you tell us about your coach sneak peeks? I know you've been doing them for a couple weeks now, right?
Yeah, I did 3 webinars, which I absolutely love doing because I like talking live, but it was just hard for a lot of people to get on the call. So now I'm doing a 3-day coach sneak peek Monday to Wednesday. I felt the 5-day ones were a bit too long that other coaches are doing. You kind of lose people. So let me pull up my document. The first day, I introduced myself and I posted a video about how I started as a coach, what my fitness journey was, where I am now, and pretty much what you do as a coach. Like, I make it short and simple. We run challenge groups, we invite people, and then I ask them to introduce themselves, talk about what they do for a living, post a fun picture, and why they're in this group. And then I talk about, the next day I post another video, and I talk about my actual journey. So why I'm not perfect, how I'm still able to be a coach despite my struggles, everything that I've gone through. And then I also talk about what my training is like. I let them know that they're not being thrown to the wolves, basically that I train them to do everything that I do, and there's no reinventing the wheel on their part. They just have to have a passion for it. And then I talk about the fun things about it, like what Success Club is, how we have different trips. I post pictures from Summit, pictures from different events, just to get them to be intrigued. Like, you know, they might see a picture of me and Autumn, and they may have gone through a round of the 21 Day Fix and be like, well, I want to meet her too, you know? So you've got to make it pleasure and business to pull them in. And then I do talk about the compensation plan, but I don't go too crazy because I don't want to get away from the purpose of the job. But I definitely touch on it because I feel like people should know before they're getting into it. Like, you know, this is the potential, but you also have to work for it too. It's not a get rich quick thing.
Well, it also hits on different needs that people might have. Some people might have a need for, you know, being an inspiration, and other people might have a need to buy groceries.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant. Keep me updated with how things go with the 3-day sneaks.
Okay. I'm kind of disappointed. So far, I haven't had anyone like introduce themselves or do anything like that, but maybe they're scared. Who knows?
Oh, and the sneak peek for today?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I can relate. I just started a Coach Basics group today, and there are 21 people in it. And 2 people have seen the day 1 post.
Oh.
I've seen it. I haven't done anything yet. I still have 2 hours left in the day.
Yeah. You know, I'll be honest, my fear, I've done these in the past before. My fear is that people just don't do it, and I waste a lot of time. And, you know, it just kind of hurts to put that much heart into it, and then for, you know, others to just not see it for whatever reason. I get we're all busy, but, you know, like, you know, Pete just talked about how, you know, the Superstar Boot Camp was like so hard and you spent so much time with it, but you did it. You know, of course, you do things that are hard because they're worth it. So,
Michael, do you tell them to turn on their notifications for the group?
I haven't told them that. I should.
Tell them that because they might forget and not even check into it.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And I tell them too, the ones that are also they're in coach training and a challenge group, they're getting kind of like overwhelmed. So I say to them, have a private conversation and talk about, okay, are you consistent with your workouts right now? Are you having trouble with it? And if they're on point, I'll say, okay, turn notifications off for the challenge group because training's more important right now. I know you're doing your workouts. I know you're used to being in the challenge group already, but focus on the training.
Okay.
Because it's too much. They've got my normal coach group. They've got the training. They've got their challenge groups, and it's overwhelming.
Yeah, especially if they haven't started to see results from it. So there's no. Okay.
At least I'm not the only one with issues with them checking it.
Well, I know at the Superstar Boot Camp, like, we put the fear of God into them. That, like, basically, if you miss a day, you're out. And there was this big application process to be in there. So it was set up that this is a huge honor that you get to spend with some of the top Beachbody coaches, and it's up to you to pull your load. Is that basically like what put the fire under your belly or under your butt?
Oh yeah, it was definitely like I knew that I had to get everything done no matter what. So if it meant staying up and finishing at 2 a.m, that meant I stayed up till 2 a.m. and slept for 4 hours. You know, just got it done. And I think it was like I just finished like the day, and then you posted the Instagram stuff. Like, and I was like, I just finished and the Instagram's up. And I'm like, and I was like, okay, well, I can upload my notes. And I stayed up later. I uploaded our notes to the folder that I shared with, you know, David and Chad. and I just like got everything prepped, and then I was like search for a link, and then I was like, okay, here's our original call if anybody wants to watch that, and where it sparked from. So I was like, I stayed up longer to add more stuff to the message thread there.
Yeah.
I was like, here's this, and here's this, because I watched the video again, even though I was in the video. I was like, I have the notes for this call, already. So, but I'll watch it again because I'm supposed to. So,
Michael, how do you build your team up to understand like our leaders? Because to them, they're just fitness people. They're not like, we look at them like, oh, kind of like celebrities sometimes. Well, not that dramatic, but like we really look up to them because we're so passionate about this. So how do you get them to see the value of our uplines and how they can really help us if they take it seriously?
Can I reflect that to Pete? Have I done that? And how did I do it if I did?
Okay. I would say like Josh, I talked to Josh several times, like via personal message, even, and I would kind of just be like, okay, how do I do this? And he just like, was like, dude, you got to do this. And like, I was even trying to take time off work to like drive 2.5 hours to spend time with Josh for 30 minutes. And he's like, are you sure you want to drive 2.5 hours to spend 30 minutes? I'm like, yes. It's like 30 minutes, with somebody that's like where I want to be is worth it. I couldn't get the time off work, but I was like so determined to like just spend time with Josh and learn. So like I follow Josh's post like crazy. Like I have notifications for whenever Josh posts, whenever like Michael posts. Like I get notifications from other coaches when they post, like Jason Lipoff, like when he posts anything, I get a notification, and it's like I just follow what they do, but also personalize it to like my niche group and who I'm reaching out to. And so like he presented, Michael presented these people as, they're the upline, but they're also approachable and real, and you can talk to them about anything. And I talked to Jason for months about stuff. And, he told me, at Summit when we had dinner, which was awesome, like, because he came in late and he got to spend a good hour with us eating dinner. And it was just like, he's like, man, he's like, I told Brooke, he's like, there's this guy again. And he's like, still messaging me. And he hasn't quit. And so there's something there. And I just need to help him. And I know he was probably talking with Josh and Michael behind my back too. I'm assuming he was, just trying to get ideas of how to light a fire or just help change my mindset. Because there was a lot of my mindset that I needed to change. Like I knew that, and just, other people are noticing like, hey, your mindset's changed. Like your thought patterns change. And yeah, I still get discouraged every once in a while, but I just have to look at the future and where I want to be. So it's like, and yeah, I've talked, I love talking with Josh, briefly, everybody wants to talk with Josh, but it was awesome. Like at Summit that I was able to spend time with Jason, and just, that was like one of the checklists. Okay, I got to meet Jason at Summit, after Michael, of course, I ain't like, so meet in person, so, but yeah, it's just, I think it was part of it. Yeah, Michael's displayed that, but I also took initiative to reach out to people too and say, hey, how did you do this? And what did you do?
That's key though. You've got to really want it. You can't make people want something.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, like, of course, there's a lot of people who have the same exposure that you do, Pete, but they have not reached out to them.
Right.
So, there's only so much that I can do or the uplines can do unless you have that hunger. And it just kind of reminds me of, like, just yesterday I was in church and I was thinking about this whole idea of like thirst and hunger. And, like when we're really, really thirsty, what we want is water. But then after we've drunk in like 60 ounces of water, we're okay. Like, we don't need any more water. And so I think, like, you have a thirst, and you recognize that the water to quench that thirst is available for you in these people, and you're reaching out to them. But there's a lot of people who are either just not thirsty in that way, or they don't understand that this is the thing that's going to be the water for their thirst.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think what we can do as leaders, all four of us are leaders here, is, definitely like talk about our uplines and, what they've accomplished and how they've helped us. Talk about that they are approachable and that they are here to help all of us. And I love just that simple idea of just saying, like, I follow them, I've turned my notifications on, so every time I see them post, I get it. And I highly recommend that you do that as well. And the more that we get exposure to each other, the more we realize what the value is of each other.
And sometimes it's also a reminder, like, oh, I need to post something today. It's like, I'm so busy that, okay, take some time and post something, even if I just, post one thing today versus like 5, it's still post something that's going to impact somebody. And I've noticed, like, a lot of my posts are getting a lot more interaction just because I'm sharing, like, this is key. It's like, it might be a picture of a quote, but it's like, people are like, wow, that's like so true. I needed to hear that today. Or so, I might not be posting like as much as Michael or as much as Jason or Josh, but I'm trying to post something that's going to touch somebody. So I don't want to, overwhelm people with tons of information, but I want to overwhelm them with a post that's going to like affect them,
Quality versus quantity.
Yeah.
Michael, do you know if the app Buffer works? I've heard if you use Hootsuite, I used to use it, but I've heard that Facebook doesn't like that, and it'll kind of hide what you're posting.
Yeah.
Is Buffer the same?
Yes.
Okay, so really avoid that unless I'm like on vacation or something.
Yeah, if you can post live, that is the ideal situation.
Okay. I was going to suggest that to Pete. I mean, I can post. I'm all home all day, but I was going to do work.
I used to do a lot of Hootsuite posts, and I got some interaction off them, but I just pulled back from doing that and just posted, like, when I knew the high peak times of when people were looking at my stuff, and I just try to post in that time. So, or post things that, like, I posted about my camping trip this weekend. I also didn't post a lot about my camping trip because, obviously, I live alone, so I don't want to post that I'm not at my house. But, just because some people will follow you to find out, okay, where are you? And then like, oh, let me rob your house. So I'm also cautious of that too. So, like, people didn't know that I was actually still there. I didn't give the impression that I was there, but, obviously, I have a security system, which my next door neighbor, she watches my house, but I still, I'm cautious of posting where I'm at, all the time. So.
Unfortunately, my neighbors know when I'm at home because my neighbor will text me and be like, your Shakeology's been sitting outside your door for 3 days. I'm like, you better grab that shit. It's expensive.
Busted.
Yeah.
Pete, about the motivation quotes that you're posting, and you're noticing that they're gaining more traction and resonance. That wasn't happening in the beginning, right?
No, it wasn't.
Posting pretty much very similar stuff before.
I was.
But now people are listening.
Yeah.
Do you know what the difference is?
Was a lot of it was my mindset change too.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think also you've done a great job of really kind of sharing more of who you are,
Hmm.
in addition to the motivation quotes.
Right.
It's that great analogy that, like Joe Schmo can say, like, I had Cheerios for breakfast. And maybe one person, like his mom, might like that. And then
Right.
Kim Kardashian can, like, just say the same thing, say, I had Cheerios for breakfast. And it'll get, like, 13,000 shares, 1 million likes, and it'll
Right.
get out of it. But it's the exact same content. And it's because we know who she is. We don't know who Joe Schmo is. So the more that you can actually share who you are, that's what's engaging. And the motivation quotes, that's like icing on the top. You can't rely on like a prefab motivation quote picture to let people know that you are a positive, motivated person. It doesn't.
Well, a lot of times I'll actually share, off that quote, like how that's affecting me or what's going on,
Yes.
not just the quote. So,
Yeah.
so
it has to be personal.
Yeah. And so, like, I posted something today because I saw Josh post about something, and I was like, oh, I need to post about struggles. So I was like, I just shared it really quick, and, not actually sure. Let's see. How many? Let's see. Yeah, it's kind of down. It's not as much as I just got it done really quick while I was at lunch. So right before I went back to work. So it's not as many, but it's still usually a lot of my stuff starts off slow, and then people are still liking my camp out pictures from this weekend. So,
Yeah. You
So,
get to know the personality of the people who follow you.
right. So.
Great. I think I'm good. I think I'm ready to wrap this up. This has been awesome.
Yeah.
I just got a streak notification from somebody who I needed to talk to about getting himself a Body Beast. So I'm going to give him a call real fast and see if I can help him out.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining. This was awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Have a good night, guys.
You too.
Thank you.
Hey, yeah.